moving on to our next effect, which is going to be panning. Now, this effect is going to work best if you have a pair of headphones. So if you can plug them in for me at the moment, that would be fantastic. So I'm still going to use this rhythm guitar, but instead I'm going to add on the effect of panning. But if I show you from the FX menu, you'll see that panning isn't actually an option here. That's because we can add panning using this control here. So what panning does is it allows us to move the sound within our headphones. So if I was to move this little dial here to the left, this track, when I press play, should only come out the left speaker or the left speaker in your headphone. So let's have a listen to that. It should only now come out the right speaker. So panning is fairly straightforward. It's when we can change the direction of sound from either left or right, and we can actually put it back to center as well. There we go. So it's back into the center. So panning is when we can change the direction of sound to left, right, or center. Okay, so moving on to another effect that we can have, I'm going to show you delay, but this time let's use a different track. So let's add this on to the vocal track down the bottom here. Again, I'm just going to click solo so we can only hear this one part. Go to the FX menu and then click on, let's go to classic delay. Now, what delay does, if you can imagine, if a train is delayed or a plane is delayed, then you're pushing back the time in which it was originally supposed to leave at. So what happens if you add on the delay effect onto a track? Delay effect basically gives you an echo sound. You're going to hear the original sound and then the delayed signal, which is going to give you the echo effect. So if we have a listen, and if I actually go to let's go to Clean Digital, for example, on the preset, and then press play.
I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned interaction. Be good to us, and we'll be good to you.
You can hear that effect of delay has clearly been added, as we can hear the echo effect. Now, if I was to take that off and play you the effect dry, or the track dry, sorry, let's have a listen.
I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned meter.
And then add it back on. You can clearly hear that the delay has been added to the track.
I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned interaction.
Because you can hear the original signal and then the delayed signal after that. Okay, moving on to our penultimate effect, and that is going to be distortion. Now, a good instrument or track to add that onto is probably going to be our bass. So let's go to our bass. Let me just quickly take this off and solo our bass track. So let's have a listen to it just dry with no effects added on. Okay, now let's add on some distortion. Let's go to this one. Now, distortion basically allows you to boost the volume and distort the sound. Now, it's used a lot in rock music as it gives a kind of fuzzy effect on a guitar, which is the classic rock sound. So if I were to select heavy distortion, now this is probably going to be really loud, so just a fair warning to you. Let's have a listen to distortion. You how different that sound is. It's really distorted the sound, boosted the volume, and given a fuzzy sound onto that track. So distortion is when you increase the volume so much that the sound starts to distort and creates that fuzzy effect that we usually have in rock music. So the final effect we're going to look at is going to be fade in and fade out. And let's put that onto our drum track. Now, the easiest way to add this isn't through our FX. As you'll see, that isn't an option here, but it's actually to draw it in on the track. So let's solo it. And then you'll see when I hover over it, there's this little white line that goes through the middle of the track. Now that is going to be our volume. So you probably know that fading in and fading out is when we're going to gradually increase the volume at the start to fade in, and then gradually reducing the sound at the end to have a clean ending. So if I were to add in fade in, if I click here, for example, and then on the first little dot that we have here, drag that down, you'll see we now have this angle that's going from low to in the middle. So that's going to gradually increase the volume and fade in. And if we do the same thing at the end, just clicking before that last dot and then dragging that one down, we have another angled line, which is going to fade out the sound. So let's have a little listen to the drums with fade in and fade out. Okay, so that brings an end towards our lesson, thinking about our controls and our effects. So today we've looked at beat, capture, channel, track name, dry and wet, and then onto our effects we've looked at reverb, we've looked at panning, delay, distortion, and fade in and fade out. So what I'd like you to do for me just now is to open up the file that is attached with the show my homework setting and answer the questions for me and send me the answers that you've got back so I can give you feedback and mark it for you. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson and I look forward to making a new lesson for you next week.